Hello everyone, my name is Naomi. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to try to make a video quick, but since, I don't know, the last week or two, this kid every day is going up and down our street with this tiny little, it's like a miniature motorcycle or something. It's super tiny. Like, he looks ridiculous on it, but he's always, because he's got to be like late teens. He looks more like a man than a child, but he's up and down the street and it's so noisy. So we're gonna attempt this and see if I can make a video. I'm hoping that the novelty of his new toy wears off so that we are no longer being blessed with the sound of it. Okay, I just wanted to pop on really quick and give you an update on how my mom is doing and my stepdad, and also just an update on what I've been up to lately. First of all, my mom, like I had said in the first video, and I don't know if I'd said much about my stepdad in the first video. I think I made the video before more things happened, but my mom is recovering at home. She's doing very well. She is one of those who, she likes to garden and she likes to go outside and she likes to walk around, and she stays busy with her garden, and she does try to eat healthier. So I think that contributed to her recovering, because she does eat a lot of vegetables. So she is recovering very well at home. She's still just a little bit weak, but I think that last little bit of weakness will maybe dissipate in this next week. It's less than it was. Like, she was really fatigued, but now she's getting her energy back. She's cleaning the house, she's gardening, she's taking her walks, and it didn't matter how sick she was. My mom went out and took a walk. Even if she couldn't move very fast, she was outside taking a walk every day. So I must commend her on that. She did phenomenal. She made sure she was very well hydrated. She took her walks. When she ate, it was very healthy foods. Vegetables from her own garden is most of what she ate. Even though she didn't have an appetite, she ate. Okay, let's move on to my stepdad. My stepdad, my mom's husband, he is in the ICU. I think it happened after I made the last video. He was getting really out of it, like, I would almost say, like, almost non-responsive. He had gotten to the point where he wasn't even really acknowledging that my mom was there. It's like he didn't even know. But he had already been in bad shape up to that point. He didn't want to go to the hospital. He wanted to recover at home like she's been able to do. But he got to the point where his oxygen dropped low, and it made him so he was like really, really loopy and really out of it. And there's that little mini bike thing. If you could hear that, I'm sorry. I am making a video on my front porch. It doesn't matter where I was making the video, you would hear it. But anyway, he was stubbornly wanted to be at home, but he hadn't been eating. He had not been drinking like the last couple days, and he also did not take his heart pills. My mom gave him the pills and even managed to get them in his mouth, and she thought he swallowed them, but he just let them dissolve in his mouth and dribbled them out. And so anyway, he wasn't taking the medications he needed, his Lasix, and I don't know what all he's on, but he wasn't taking his medication, and he was in really bad shape. And from what she told me, I said to her, you're gonna have to, he needs an IV because he's dehydrated. You're gonna have to call, he'd be better off in the hospital where they can properly care for him. So she did finally call the ambulance when he became like unresponsive to the point that he didn't even know that she was there. Then she called the ambulance and had him taken to the hospital, and he has been at the hospital for 8 days now. 7 days. No, it was Sunday night, last Sunday night, and this is Monday, so he's been in the hospital just like one day over a week. And when he first got there and they first put him on an IV, got fluids in him and got him on a higher level of oxygen than the oxygen that they had sent him home with, he did better. Like, he immediately showed improvement, but then he went right back downhill, and he has been staying about the same for the last 8 days. They have him on a BiPAP machine, and he's out of it. I think they're keeping him sedated, because I know that they were keeping him sedated. So I think he is once again sedated, because my mom can't talk to him. The nurse will hold the phone to his ear so that my mom can talk to him and read him scripture. So she gets to talk to him for like a couple minutes, and she doesn't get to talk to him every day. So he isn't able to talk, but she does get an update from the nurse daily, and some days she gets to have the nurse hold the phone to his ear so that she can talk to him. So that is all we know right now, is that he's staying about the same. He's on a BiPAP and also a feeding tube, and he has an IV. So I know those are the things he's on right now. So that is the update on my stepdad. So if you can keep him in your prayers and your thoughts, I would greatly appreciate that. For me, update. What have I been doing this week? Well, I bought a new toy last Sunday. I bought myself a little dehydrator. So I have been every morning harvesting a little bit of herbs and throwing it in that dehydrator. It's just a little Hamilton Beach one, and it's like a rectangle shape, and it's small. But I figured, since I only grow herbs for a short period of time, and I don't have like large quantities of herbs, I just have my tiny little herb garden, and I have, let's see, everything came out of my tiny herb garden. Everything. I do have some more herbs planted inside in pots, because I think that I'm going to try to do herbs in pots in the house year round for funsies. I've really discovered I like cooking with fresh herbs. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, let's talk about my herbs really, really quick. The two that are doing absolutely phenomenal, that I am getting plenty of, are peppermint and sage. So this here is one of those jars from the natural peanut butter, the Smuckers. I repurpose jars. To a certain extent, it doesn't make sense to go out and buy a jar when you're getting food in jars that are perfectly great jars. I really like these peanut butter jars. I use them for everything. So this is about the level that it's at. It's about 2/3 of the way full. That's how much I've dehydrated. It takes a lot of dehydrated peppermint to do this. I've had bundles that I had hang drying, for like air drying it, because of the fact that I have that much peppermint. The peppermint is just like exploded. So I will have peppermint. I'm not sure that I'll have enough to meet my needs though, because I do love peppermint tea. So I will still be buying peppermint tea, you know, through the winter when I run out of this, but this will save me a little bit. Okay, the sage. Sage is doing very well. I have a couple of these really cute little jars. Actually, I have 3 of them. And so this is my dehydrated sage. I have 2 little jars, and I will have more than that eventually, because with herbs you can harvest and then you wait and they kind of grow back more. You just have to be careful not to over harvest them. So I've harvested, and I need to give the herb garden a little bit of a break. Now with the rosemary, I only have like a tiny little bit in this tiny little jar, because I only planted 1 little rosemary plant. So I don't have a lot of rosemary, but that's okay. It's a start. It's more than I've had in the past. I haven't ever had any of these herbs. Last year I just had basil. Now garlic chives. This jar is a Classico pizza sauce, like that fire roasted tomato pizza sauce, whatever. It's a Classico jar, so that tells you about like how big it is. And this is my garlic chives that I have dehydrated, and I've dehydrated quite a bundle of them. I need to let them recover from what I've harvested, before I go harvesting some more. They do have kind of a garlic smell. They smell more, they smell really funky, to be honest. I'm not overly fond, like I love chives and I love the smell of chives, but the garlic chives that I planted, I'm not too terribly excited about because they're not the same thing as chives. They're not even close. They smell maybe a little garlicky, but I don't know. They don't smell all that great. So that's what I have been up to. I have been harvesting herbs. If I get up like extra early, because I work super early in the morning and I'm working from home, so I can get up and go outside and cut some herbs and then get them inside, get them rinsed, start my work day, and then after a couple hours go back to the kitchen, dry them really good and get them in the dehydrator, and then just start the dehydrator and let it run till like bedtime. And that seems to work really, really well for me. So the dehydrating thing is going great. I think that it is very important that we learn to grow more and more things. The more we grow at home, the less we have to buy, and the more self-sufficient we become, which is so, so very important. I am big on pushing for some more self-sufficiency. There's a lot of videos and a lot of talk about food shortages, and I really do believe that it could happen. So I feel like the more we grow ourselves, the more we know how to grow ourselves, the better off we're going to be. So let me know in the comments below how you're doing. I'd love to hear from you. How have you been affected by COVID-19? I'd love to hear that. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week.